From the dawn of consciousness to the digital age, the story of humanity is a breathtaking saga of innovation, struggle, and connection. Our journey begins over 200,000 years ago in the heart of Africa, with the emergence of Homo sapiens. For millennia, we were nomads, hunter-gatherers following the rhythm of the seasons, our world defined by the immediate needs of survival. But around 10,000 BC, something extraordinary happened. In the fertile lands of Mesopotamia, the Near East, and later in regions like the Indus Valley, China, and Mesoamerica, our ancestors began to settle down. This was the Neolithic Revolution. The shift from hunting and gathering to agriculture was arguably the most significant turning point in human history. By cultivating crops like wheat and barley and domesticating animals, we created a stable food supply. This surplus allowed for something entirely new: permanent settlements. Villages grew into towns, and towns into the world's first cities, like Uruk and Ur and Sumer. With settled life came new challenges and new inventions. We developed pottery to store our grain, irrigation to water our fields, and the wheel to transport our goods. Society became more complex, with specialized roles emerging: farmers, artisans, priests, and rulers. To manage this growing complexity, we needed a way to keep records, and so, around 3500 BC, writing was born. Cuneiform script, etched into clay tablets, allowed us to record laws, trade, and our earliest stories, like the Epic of Gilgamesh. As cities flourished, they coalesced into powerful city-states and eventually empires. The Akkadian Empire, followed by the Babylonians, Assyrians, and Persians, rose and fell in Mesopotamia, each leaving its mark. In Egypt, a civilization emerged along the life-giving Nile River, united under pharaohs who were seen as gods on earth. They built monumental pyramids, developed hieroglyphic writing, and created a sophisticated society that lasted for 3,000 years. To the east, in the Indus Valley, the Harappan civilization built meticulously planned cities with advanced sanitation systems. While in China, the Shang dynasty established a powerful kingdom known for its bronze work and oracle bone script. Around 500 BC, a period known as the Axial Age saw a flourishing of philosophical and religious thought across the world. In Greece, Socrates, Plato, and Aristotle laid the foundations of Western philosophy, questioning the nature of reality, ethics, and governance. This was the era of Athenian democracy, classical art, and epic poetry. In India, Siddhartha Gautama became the Buddha, offering a path to enlightenment, while Mahavira founded Jainism. In China, Confucius taught principles of social harmony and good governance that would shape Chinese culture for millennia. These ideas spread through burgeoning trade networks like the Silk Road, which connected the Roman Empire in the West with the Han Dynasty in the East, facilitating not just the exchange of goods like silk and spices, but also of ideas, technologies, and beliefs. The classical empires, for all their power, were not eternal. The Roman Empire, which had unified the Mediterranean world, eventually fractured and fell in the West, ushering in the Middle Ages in Europe. This was a period of fragmentation, but also of new beginnings. Feudalism structured society, while the Christian Church became a dominant cultural and political force. Meanwhile, a new power was rising from the Arabian Peninsula. The advent of Islam in the 7th century AD led to the rapid expansion of the Arab caliphates, which stretched from Spain to India. This Islamic golden age became a beacon of learning and innovation. Scholars in Baghdad, Cairo, and Cordoba preserved and expanded upon the knowledge of the ancient Greeks and Romans, making groundbreaking advances in mathematics, astronomy, medicine, and philosophy. While Europe was experiencing its dark ages, civilizations elsewhere were thriving. In China, the Tang and Song dynasties presided over a golden age of invention, giving the world gunpowder, the compass, and printing. Across the Americas, complex societies like the Maya, with their intricate calendar and hieroglyphic writing, and later the Aztec and Inca empires, built vast cities and sophisticated political systems, completely independent of the Old World. The world was a patchwork of vibrant, interconnected, yet distinct cultures. The Mongol Empire in the 13th century, under Genghis Khan and his successors, briefly created the largest contiguous land empire in history, brutally conquering but also paradoxically facilitating a new era of trade and communication across Eurasia, the Pax Mongolica. By the 15th century, the stage was set for another profound transformation. Stirred by a renewed interest in classical knowledge, the Renaissance swept through Europe, sparking an explosion of art, science, and literature. This intellectual awakening, combined with new maritime technologies, fueled the Age of Discovery. European explorers like Columbus, Vasco da Gama, and Magellan embarked on daring voyages, connecting the globe in ways never before imagined. However, this new global network came at a terrible cost. The Columbian Exchange brought new crops and animals between the hemispheres, but it also brought devastating diseases to the Americas, leading to the collapse of indigenous populations and the brutal colonization of their lands. The transatlantic slave trade began, a dark chapter that would shape the demographics and economies of the Americas and Africa for centuries. The scientific revolution of the 16th and 17th centuries, led by figures like Copernicus, Galileo, and Newton, fundamentally changed our understanding of the universe. It established a new way of thinking based on observation, experimentation, and reason. This paved the way for the Enlightenment in the 18th century, where thinkers like Locke, Voltaire, and Rousseau championed ideas of individual rights, liberty, and the social contract. These revolutionary ideas fueled the American and French revolutions, which challenged the old order of monarchy and aristocracy and promoted ideals of democracy and national sovereignty that would ripple across the globe. The 19th century was defined by the Industrial Revolution. Beginning in Britain, the invention of the steam engine and the factory system transformed production, society, and the environment. People flocked from the countryside to rapidly growing cities, creating a new industrial working class. This era saw incredible technological progress: railways, telegraphs, electricity, but also immense social inequality and exploitation. Industrialized nations used their new power to expand their empires, leading to the scramble for Africa and the colonization of vast parts of Asia. The world became more interconnected than ever, but also more unequal, dominated by a handful of European powers. The 20th century began with immense optimism but quickly descended into unprecedented conflict. Two world wars, fueled by nationalism, imperialism, and new, devastating military technologies, engulfed the globe, killing tens of millions and redrawing the map of the world. The aftermath saw the rise of two superpowers, the United States and the Soviet Union, locked in a tense ideological struggle known as the Cold War. This period was marked by the threat of nuclear annihilation, but also by decolonization, as nations across Africa and Asia fought for and won their independence. It was an age of extremes, of genocide and the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, of proxy wars and the space race that took us to the moon. As the Cold War ended with the collapse of the Soviet Union, we entered the digital age. The invention of the microprocessor, the personal computer, and finally, the internet, has revolutionized communication, commerce, and culture. Information now travels at the speed of light, connecting billions of people in a global network. We live in an era of incredible opportunity and daunting challenges. We've made huge strides in medicine and technology, lifting millions out of poverty, but we also face global warming, pandemics, and profound political divisions. The story of human civilization is not a simple, linear progression. It's a complex, messy, and often contradictory tapestry woven from countless individual lives, ideas, and actions. It's a story of our greatest achievements and our most terrible failures, of our endless curiosity and our enduring capacity for both creation and destruction. As we look to the future, the question remains, what will the next chapter of our story be? The answer lies with all of us. Thanks for watching. If you found this journey through history fascinating, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into our shared past.